Hi guys, this is going to be my updated predictions based on the ever growing transfer window and what's really going on at the moment. We have had some interesting rumours regarding Arsenal and Eze, so that's going to be my first point. I'm going to do this alphabetically here, right? I still think Arsenal are going to finish second. No, there is some sort of degree where you can see that Arsenal could win the league. But if we look at some of the preseason results, now preseason is just preseason, right? Preseason's not the arbiter of what's going to happen the rest of the year. But from what I've seen from the reactions of Arsenal fans regarding the preseason and how they've been playing, it's been more or less the same as last season. Now, with Gyökeres, that could be a big jump. If you can get him scoring those 14 draws from last season, that could maybe reduce to maybe 6, 7. But is Liverpool gonna take their pedal off at the last minute like they did last season? Because they knew they were already gonna win. They dropped so many points in the last 5, 6 games, and I just don't see that happening. So I think they're still going to finish there. Aston Villa. Now, Aston Villa, the squad's a little bit lightweight, if I'm being perfectly honest. And they do have a solid midfield with people to fill in. They've got a decent defence, but it's not the best defence in the world. Mainly the thing that carries Aston Villa is people like Tillemans, Ollie Watkins, who's rumoured, to be linked with moves away. And we heard previously Man United were considering, but they're not. They've just bought Shesko, and that's definitely not going to be on their mind. But Newcastle are looking out for someone. So I think they're going to finish just outside the top 5, from what I can see thus far anyway. Bournemouth, Bournemouth's a tricky one to predict, but I don't think they're going to get into European places. They have lost quite a few defenders, but Bournemouth had such a big injury crisis last season, and they sort of went through it, no bother whatsoever, got through it perfectly fine. So, these mid-table teams, they can really finish anywhere between 8th and 14th, but I think Bournemouth will be in that 8 to 12 mark. Brentford, I think Brentford are going to fall down the table, losing Mbeumo, potentially losing Vissa. They still have good defenders. They lost Norgard, who's a central midfielder for them. Like, he is important to what they do. I would say that, they could be flirting on the edge of relegation, but I still don't think they'll go down. Brighton have a solid squad. They'll challenge any top team to a good game of football. To be honest, I'm not a fan of their defence, but their midfield and their attack are really, really, really strong, and they could push for European places, but I'm not entirely sure they have everything they need to do that. So they're going to finish in the mid-table zone. Burnley, straight back down. I just don't see it. I just don't see Burnley staying up. They had a strong championship season last year. Scott Parker done a good job, but Scott Parker also has a tendency to get himself sacked. So I'm not too sure about them. Kyle Walker might give them something, but they've just lost their goalkeeper, James Trafford, to Man City. It is what it is, isn't it? Chelsea. Uh, Chelsea are finishing the Champions League places, although Levi Colwill is injured. That might cause some problems. Fatigue. More mental than physical, let's be honest. Footballers can run all year. Um, but mental fatigue from Club World Cup. It didn't really get much of a break. The pre-season started late. But they have Cole Palmer. They have Caicedo. They have Yao Pedro. They have Pedro Neto. They have Gittins. There's a new player. They're going for Garnacho. Whether that's a good move for Chelsea or not, he's an energetic player, but I'm not sure he's what they're looking for. Crystal Palace, 12th. They're finishing 12th. We know that every season. They haven't done much in the market. Probably Oliver Glasner probably would have wanted a bit more. But, we know who they are. Crystal Palace, solid team, great team. Good against the big teams on occasion. Do a lot of upsets. Next is Everton. Everton, yep, I think they're finishing in the top 12. Good manager. Solid 11, I would say. Maybe their bench is not that great, but one game a week, it's not so bad. I think they'll do a good job this season. Forest, gotta put them there. Forest, I think. I just don't see it happening twice. But I don't. It's really hard to predict, to be honest. Yeah, I'll put them there for now. Fulham. Put them there for now. Fulham, good manager, decent players, good squad. Not really much to say. Leeds, I think they're staying up. They have a really good squad, let's be fair. Okay, championship level, whatever. They have to come up and they have to stay up, in my opinion. That's what they need. Liverpool, champions. Nothing much to say. Look at the transfer window. Look at what they've done last year. Finished 10 points ahead of Arsenal, even though the last 4, 5, 6 games they weren't really at it. They could have easily been 15, 16, 17 points ahead of Arsenal by the end of the season. Not much to say there, really. Man United, I think they'll get top 10. They've actually had a pretty good transfer window, but Onana's injured. And look, he's not a great keeper, but come on, he's better than being there. Come on. They need a keeper. They need a midfielder as well, but do they? I don't know. It's tough to say with Man United. They could be up here. I think their battle is going to be with Newcastle for this Europa Conference League spot. Newcastle, just look at their summer window. There's not too much to really say on that. Spurs, I think they're going to finish 5th. Nothing much more to say. Thomas Frank, Kudus, they have a good defense. Last season they had so many injuries, and that's not an excuse to finish 17th. That's due to the manager's incompetence, really, or stubbornness. Like, he should have just played more defensive. They would have been all right. They could have rode through that injury crisis, just like Bournemouth. Sorry, just like Bournemouth, they could have rode through it. Just make do. Sunderland, straight back down. Sunderland, they got in through the playoffs. I don't think there's very many playoff teams that stay up. They have bought a lot of players, but like Fulham a good while ago, this is the optimism Sunderland fans can have from my view. They will go back down this season. Next season, they will come. They will win the championship, and the season after, they'll be straight back up. And if they've done everything right, like Fulham did, they'll stay up. In my opinion. West Ham. I think West Ham have really fallen from where they were a few years ago, and I think they're not going to be. If I had to put this in order, I'll just put Man City in as well. I think Man City are going to have a good season. But back to West Ham. West Ham are just about good enough, in my opinion, to stay above the relegation battle. Graham Potter's an alright manager, but whether they can push on and make their way up the table, I don't know. They do ruin Arsenal's day sometimes. Sometimes they ruin Tottenham's day. So they have, like, it's hard to predict. These 10 teams, very hard to predict. Man United, Newcastle, I think they're stuck in that position. I don't think Man United, after buying Sesko and Mbeumo, Cunha, staying there. And talking about Cunha, Wolves, Strand Larsen's being linked with a move away. If Strand Larsen moves away and they don't get anyone good in, they're going down. If they keep Strand Larsen and they buy a few more players, they're staying up. And realistically, the teams flirting with relegation are Burnley, Sunderland, West Ham, Brentford, Leeds, and Wolves, in my opinion. But I'll keep it there. Thanks for watching the video. Please like and subscribe. I know it's kind of low quality, but I'm just making this on the side anyway. So have a good day, everyone. Enjoy.